Hi guys, long time no see, kinda. It's been almost a month since the last video, right? I thought it had only been 2 weeks, and then this weekend someone during the live stream said, hey, you haven't made a new YouTube video in like ages, and I was like, no, I just made one, it's up there, and no, it turned out they were correct, and it had almost been 1 month. I guess time flies when you're busy. So yeah, it's been Kickstarter time. It just ended yesterday, I think. So this whole month has been Kickstarter running for, you know, my comic printing stuff, and just a bunch of other work that has all been good. Nothing has been too overwhelming. Everything has been getting done, and I wouldn't say it's like slowing down yet. You know, lots of work still to do. End of the year is always very busy, but yeah, at least I had the time to sit down and paint. I guess we should talk about the painting a little bit. There's gonna be 2 in this video, 2 little paintings, because I wasn't really sure about how this one was going, and I kinda painted myself into a little corner as far as the composition went, and I couldn't. It just kept getting worse as more I worked on it, because yeah, I got confused about colors and everything, so I gave up at some point, even though it started out pretty nice. Like, I'm liking where it's going right now, but yeah, I had to start over. I was kind of feeling that I hadn't worked with watercolors in quite a few weeks, so I was like rusty and everything. So there's a second one coming up after this one. Just a quick little. I tried to make my humming fluff mascot look kind of like a chicken, you know, like a chicken cat, and I'm not sure I managed to do it. I had a reference picture open to see how the feather patterns and tail feather shapes and everything worked, but yeah, I feel like in the end they just ended up looking like owls, so I think I need to practice painting chickens in the future. I've been watching a lot of chicken videos in the last like couple of months. You know, end of summer, you kind of want to have chickens. You know, lots of people have summer chickens over here, and yeah, I got a little bit of chicken fever, aka kanakuume, and I really want chickens, but I can't have them. I live in a, you know, row house apartment, tiny backyard and neighbors right there. It wouldn't be really good for the neighborhood peace if I just suddenly had chickens pooping up my yard. But yeah, that's why I'm painting, trying to paint a chicken-ish humming fluff thingy. Yeah, that's all for this painting, or this one and the next one. Let's talk about just a quick checkup on what I have been working on this month. The Kickstarter, obviously, I won't talk more about that just yet. It just ended, so it's like still super jumbled in my brain. I feel like it's still going, and I can't let go of the tension in my chest that I've been kind of having during the whole thing. Even though I don't have to do a lot for it, you know, it's run by my publisher Hiveworks in America, and I mostly just have to draw like the book plates, which I have done. I've done 300 sketched book plates during this month. It took several full days of just sitting down and drawing book plate after book plate after book plate for like 10 hours straight, you know, stretching my hands in between. But yeah, that is done. I need to sign like 600 or something. I need to wait for them to send me more book plates though, because I have run out, or very close to. And yeah, so I don't have like a lot of stuff I need to do. I've done the book file, I've sent everything that they need, so they're taking care of everything. But it's still, you know, it's your comic, your thing, and your audience. So, you know, I always have like this, I just can't not be stressed out a little bit. So I can like feel tension in my chest, and it's still there. Like, I'm not breathing properly, I'm breathing out more than I'm breathing in. So I feel like I'm always kind of short on breath, and I do that when I'm tense or nervous or stressed out about something. And I noticed that I'm doing that still. But yeah, Kickstarter ended yesterday, so makes sense that I haven't quite yet relaxed. And I'm sure I won't be completely relaxed until everyone's gotten their books, you know. That's gonna take a few months probably. Delays could happen, you know, you never know. But that's the situation on that. And what else have I done? Let's do a garden update. A lot of people have been asking how the garden's going. Harvest happened. That's a weird way of saying it. I harvested my potatoes and my carrots. Potatoes, I planted them this year in my flower bed just to kind of see how they would do. And they did bad and good, or good and bad. They grew really healthy, the stems and the leaves, it was amazing looking, and some of the potatoes grew big and nice looking, but like half of the potatoes stayed super tiny, like marble sized. And I think what happened is, or what it seemed like, is there just wasn't deep enough mulch. The ground under my yard is clay, so the moment the roots got past the mulch part, they just couldn't go anywhere else, so they kind of got really crowded, the little potato beans. So the only potatoes that got big were the ones that were growing like on the perimeter of the planting thingy, towards the sides rather than in the middle or downwards. So potatoes, meh. Carrots, they failed completely. I knew I planted them wrong after like the first week, because I planted them on the shadow side of the potatoes, and I did not remember how big and bushy the potato leaves grow. So after like a couple of weeks, they had completely started shadowing all of my carrots, and yeah, they were just growing in darkness basically the whole summer, getting no sunlight at all. But I left them in there because I wanted to see what happens if they can't grow at all. And also the stems got completely smashed down by rain, so they weren't even growing upwards, they were growing like along the ground most of the summer. And the result was super tiny mini carrots. Also, my cat is drinking right now, if the microphone picks that up. So yeah, super tiny carrots, like 1 centimeter long. I'm really happy that I left them, because they were fun to dig up and see how big they were. I know that the carrots grow well in my yard though. It's no problem with like the amount of sun otherwise, because I grew some in a raised bed, I think last year, and they grew really nice and big. And yeah, it was just don't plant them next to the potatoes where they get no sun for the whole summer. Next one that I planted was the sunflowers. These are the ones that most people have been asking about. Did the sunflower? Did they flower? Did they bloom? Yes, they did. I was worried that they would not, because they do require so much sun, and I tried to find like the sunniest spot in my yard to plant them, and they grew well. I had 2 different varieties. I had a bigger one that flowered a bit earlier and kind of failed a little bit. I had messed up the seeding part of them. But the second variety, which is like a mini sunflower, or a medium-sized one, that one grew really nicely and is blooming right now. And yeah, they're like super fluffy and full, and I'm gonna plant more sunflowers next year. I'm really happy to have something that's blooming this late, start of autumn, because right now everything else is dead. Autumn has arrived. It is pretty cold during the nights, like 3 degrees Celsius or something, and nothing else is blooming. Leaves are starting to fall off, and the sunflowers are like the only glowing spot left. So I'm gonna have a lot of sunflowers next year, I'm pretty sure. And what I'm gonna try is I'm gonna try saving seeds from these ones to see if they work out. Like if I just put some in a little paper baggie and label them as my sunflower seeds and replant rather than buying new ones of the same variety next year. So that's the garden update. Let's do Kitty update. Nothing much, you know, it's she's old and mellow, you know, autumn is coming around, so she doesn't like spending so much time outside anymore. She just wants to be inside. I have to coax her out with some treats and stuff so that she will move around a little bit. And since it's getting cold, I got her a warming mat, I think it's called. It's just like a super tiny rise of temperature on the mat, and she loves it. She loves sleeping on it, just every position possible, just getting that warmth now that the sun isn't shining through the windows anymore. And that's the update on Kitty. I think this was everything I had to say. I've done a lot of work, but well, my brain is shutting down. What was I even talking about? I just woke up and I decided to do this video so that I get it done. But yeah, I guess the new chapter of the Kickstarter, of course, also, since we last talked, and that is going good. You guys are enjoying it. I'm enjoying drawing it. My page buffer has done well. I haven't run out of that either, and everything is going good. I'm feeling fairly positive, even though summer is ending and that's making me sad. I'm still feeling pretty good going into the end of the year, and I will have more videos for you guys. I will not let it be another month since I did the next one. I'll have something in a couple weeks at most, you know, try to keep it at some sort of schedule at least. But I will see you guys later. I hope you enjoyed this little or these two little mini paintings, and let me know if you also think about chickens a lot. Anyone else really wants chickens right now? Like, I've been watching so many videos and they're so cute and so many different colors, and they just sound so fun, and I don't know, they would make me, I think they would make me really happy. I guess Kitty would eat them, but oh well. See you next time. I'm sitting here scripting the next chapter of the comic, and I figured some of you might find it interesting to see kind of what it looks like. And I don't have to worry about spoilers, because this is what it looks like. Yeah, I basically have thoughts in my head of what needs to happen, and I need to get them down on paper in a form that I can kind of understand how things are flowing, but I literally don't do anything as far as drawing panels properly or anything. You can't tell which shapes are humans and which shapes are panel borders really, except maybe this one and what is like background elements. And I know what's happening because I can see it in my head. I know that this is gonna be a really cool panel, and it looks like a garbage mess right now. And see this page, yeah, that's another one. This one you can kind of see that the idea for paneling is a bit more visible. I just need to know what happens on each page. I need to know basically what most important, what is the last panel and what is gonna happen in the first panel, but because that's very important for the flow of pages in a webcomic, because people every day they might just read one page, and it needs to start in a way that people are not confused, and it needs to end on, if I can, something kind of interesting, like a mini cliffhanger. This kind of goes with comics in general, even in books. You kind of, one of the tips that you might hear a lot is on like the last panel of a spread, you want to make sure that the reader always wants to turn the page. So there should be something that's, you don't need to have like a mega cliffhanger, but just a little bit something. Like I very often have, I start the conversation here, and if you want to know how it continues, you need to flip the page or start the, a scene change might happen between these panels and a new scene starts here. I never end a scene unless it's the end of a chapter on the last panel of a page, because then it's like, oh, it ended. I'm not that interested in seeing what happens. I always end a scene somewhere in between so that I can start a new one as a mini cliffhanger on the last one. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. You can tell that this is a face. You can tell who it is. You can tell what expression they're supposed to be making. There's another face. That's it. That's all you can tell what's happening. But I can tell what's happening. I know what the emotional beats and movements and what kind of perspectives I want to use. But that's a little insight, I suppose.